Andy Abraham, welcome to the RMN Podcast. How are you, sir?
Yeah, very good. Very good. What can I say? Thank you for inviting me. And yeah. Although it's cold, I can feel my literally, I'm getting brain freeze. Literally.
But I mean, is it cold where you are? Is it? I take it.
Yeah. Well, the house, because you know, we're lucky enough to have a fairly biggish house. So, but you know, because the cold the heat circulates less than the cold. To be honest, the cold seems to be all over the place. You know what I mean? The brickwork and everything. So, and we're I don't know if it's my feet.
Everybody's trying to save a bit of energy.
I know everybody is.
With the cost and things, it's quite funny because my dad has got a really large house, and in my dad's house it's enormous, and he's sitting there with one room, heating one room, and it's not that he can't afford to pay for it, but he just decides that, you know, no, I'll just stay in this room, and you're walking through to visit him, and you're going from hypothermia to visit your father, you know. Let's talk about your career, Andy, because I'm amazed by your career, and you know, everyone will know you from a certain show, but let's go to the beginning.
God, I kind of got into it, but like, forget XFactor, but I decided the real reason I decided to pursue music was my best friend passed away, right? And I was all discombobulated, and I didn't know if I was coming or going, basically. I knew this guy called Mario Andrea. I knew him from the age of 10. First person I ever met when I was literally moving in my streets in Camden Town. And we worked together. We knew each other from the age of 10. We worked together at the same place for 10.5 years. And when he passed away, I really did reflect on my life. And you know, my sister tried years ago when I was about 18 to try and get me into singing. But I was one of these kids that I was having too much fun with my friends, you know. So to lock me down was a difficult thing to do, you know. I was here, there, and everywhere in London, you know. But once he passed away through heart disease, I really reflected, and I had two little kids at the time with my wife, and I said to her, I can't stay there no more. I can't be there no more at the printing firm. And I loved it. I would never have left. Whether or not I would have gone into singing, I'm not sure. But the fact that that when I was asked to do funerals or weddings, or, you know, and I didn't mind singing the first dance of a friend's wedding, you know, or family members, you know, if they passed away, I'd sing the song at the church and that, you know. And I'm not religious or anything, but, you know, I have a respect for religion, you know. But when he passed away, I said to myself, nah, I can't stay there no more. So basically, I went to a private college, music college, not necessarily to study sight reading or anything like that, anything practical like that. It was just to be around musicians, just to sit around musicians, jam, just to really feel out the world of music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went to Acton. There was a private college called Vocal Tech, and which was very expensive at the time. And with my wife's blessing, you know, I did that for 9 months, and I met a couple of guys, and we started writing songs, and long story short, we came very close to getting what we would class as a big independent deal. But then 9/11 happened. And when 9/11 happened, all of the, the excess spending for new and up and coming acts and stuff like that stopped. And I had to go back to work after something like 4 years, I think it was, of trying that. So I went back to work. I was a busman, and then I was a bin man. And while I was doing that for my friend, which was a private ran company, my wife, she forged my signature on the application form for XFactor, and without me knowing, and I got the letter to say that I've got an audition. And so I asked her, what's this? And she was like, well, you might as well go and see what they think. Yeah. And so I thought, all right, yeah, fine, I'll do that.
Next up for you is a real family man. His days of emptying bins are way behind him after you guys voted for him week after week after week. He is Mr. Smooth. Give it up for Andy.
I've acted out my life in stages.
It's a yes from me, Andy.
Thank you, Sharon.
It's a yes from me.
Thank you.
It's a yes from me.
Thank you.
I'll go and see what they think. So I went to Wembley Conference Centre, all embarrassed and everything. And I kept it very, very low key. So everyone that got through their audition, who they were told to have their hands waving all over the place, and and I was like, no. This is not for me. This is not for me. It's not. It's not how I am. And so I just swanned out. I got accepted. I left the place as quickly as I could. And then I had to be there. I had to turn up on a certain day at Chelsea football ground where there was 11,000 people. And but it was the wrong day. They sent me on the wrong day. And so while my wife was kicking up the stink with family members because they weren't allowed in when they were told they were, but it was the wrong day, they brought us down. So then we had to go back to Wembley Conference Centre the following day. This was in July of 2005. And that's when I first saw the likes of Chico, as he was doing his thing. I got through to the boot camp from there.
You will be going home, but you'll be one of my four.
You're one of the best singers I've heard in a long, long time.
I think you have the X Factor.
You are the heart and soul of this competition. Good luck to you.
Unforgettable.
Andy, you truly are unforgettable.
Going to be singing forever. There's no more Dustbin Man.
You're giving it 1,000%, so thank God you're still in the competition.
What was the process for you, though? I mean, someone that's coming from a humble background, I hope you don't mind me saying that. But
yeah.
You're being a bin man and whatever, and you're now standing at Wembley. Mm-hmm. Even that in itself must have been, I mean, you seem very relaxed in personality. So I would imagine that are you still relaxed at this point, or are you absolutely terrified?
Well. See, with me, every first experience, it's a panic, right? So if the very first filming, I'll be on edge. The very first live performance, I'll be on edge. The very first interview, I'll be on it. Any interview, really, I'm on edge, to be honest. I'm not, you know, when it comes to speaking as opposed to singing on stage, you feel a bit more vulnerable. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I know a lot of people feel more vulnerable when they sing as opposed to speak. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different for me, you know. But to be honest, you know, I was just excited at the time, and always remember right the way through all of that, especially through the live shows. My mum was dying, so you know, sometimes there are things that you have to put into perspective. Do you know what I mean? It's a show. It's that this was what was going through my head. It's just a show. It's an opportunity, but the most important thing is my mum. Do you know what I mean? So I'll put everything into its box. You know what I mean? But
which is probably a clever thing to do.
Yeah.
In the respect that you know, I mean, I think all through my life, and I've been in the music business most of my life, and traveled the world with it, and I've seen a lot of people, talented people, and shall we say, they try too hard sometimes.
Yeah.
And it just comes across in the wrong way. There's nothing sincere about it, and so therefore, because of that, it kind of spoils what they are, you know. And someone like yourself that's coming from that humble background, but also got the emotional pressures of what's happening at home, and family problems, it balances out the personality a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It keeps you on a level thing. Like you're not too high on the seesaw and you're not too low. Do you know what I mean? I had to do that, really, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get through all that whole process, you know, because at the before the live shows, my mum was she had to come back from Grenada here because the medical situation wasn't great over there. They weren't sure what her condition was and whatnot. And so, and every time, once she was in the UK, every time she had tests and stuff and scans and everything, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse, until once I got onto the show, she was around when I came back from the United States from doing the auditions there at Sharon Osbourne's place, which was, that's another whole experience, something completely new to me. And she saw me come back and get through to the live shows, but she was too ill to see me on the first show. She heard me, but she didn't see me. And then before the second show, I was told that there was nothing they could do for her, and at that time, we had to.
That's devastating. I mean, I mean, how did you? I mean, mentally for you at that point in time, you're riding this roller coaster. You know. We'll get into all the points of Sharon Osbourne's house, America, and all that, but
and fame and everything. Yeah.
But how did you deal with? You know, going on stage at that moment? I mean, that must have been tough, Andy.
Yeah, you have to put certain things in its place. You know what I mean? And once I knew, right, when I came back from Grenada after burying my mum, Simon wanted to give me a little bit of time. You know, are you all right? Do you need time? And I'm like, no. Let's just. You know, if I concentrate on this, then I'm here now. I'm here to concentrate on that. There's a purpose for me to be singing. You know what I mean? There's a reason why I've left Grenada and not stayed there. And, you know, because all my family stayed, they were there for like a good few weeks. Whereas I was back here just trying to concentrate just purely on X Factor, because I was in a house at the time in West London, in West Hampstead, in fact. That's where they held us up, and had to go to Fountain Studios in Wembley to do the Saturday night shows.
I just let Andy's voice talk for me.
Oh, Andy, I wish I was looking after you.
Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones.
I absolutely loved that.
You're brilliant. I'm so proud of you. And I know your family are too.